Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everybody. This is Shane.
And this is Winnie. And I have a question for you, Shane.
A question for me?
Do you like horses?
Sure, who doesn't?
Do you like zebras?
Well, it's just like a horse with funny stripes on it, so yeah.
Well, what if I told you there is an animal that combines both of those things?
Whoa, I like animals that are like hybrids.
Exactly. So kind of like, you know how a platypus is like beaver plus duck?
Right?
It's kind of like that.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah. Or like a narwhal, which I know you love.
I love those.
You love narwhals?
They're like whales?
Whaley, dolphin-y
things. Fat guys?
But they have a unicorny thing.
A unicorn horn.
Yes. So an okapi, which is what we are talking about today, is the best of both worlds.
The best of both.
Right.
But you know, it also has like a bit of a giraffe kind of head too.
Right, exactly. But we are going to find out more when we talk about a close look at the okapi part 1.
I am excited. Let's do this.
What has legs like a zebra, a neck like a giraffe, and a tongue long enough to lick its own eyes? If you answered the okapi, then congratulations, you're an animal expert. But if you had no idea, you might want to read on and find out more about this fascinating species. Although okapis share many features with other animals, they have an entirely unique appearance. Their stripy black and white legs resemble those of zebras, but the two species aren't actually related. In reality, okapis' closest relatives are giraffes, a fact which is indicated by their long necks. Like giraffe, okapis have horns called ossicones on the tops of their heads, though, unlike giraffes, only male okapis have these. They also have big ears, with which they can hear low-frequency sounds that other animals can't. This allows them to communicate with each other without alerting possible predators.
All right, a close look at the okapi. Very close look.
Part
1.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what has legs like a zebra, a neck like a giraffe, and a tongue long enough to lick its own eyes?
Time out. A tongue that can lick its own eyes, that is quite a tongue.
Just like yours.
Why do you need to lick your eyes?
I think they're just saying, you know, it's long enough that it could.
It could.
I don't think okapis are, you know, known for licking their eyes.
Okay.
So what does it mean to lick something? Okay, it's a verb and it means to use your tongue to cover or pass over something. Just like a lollipop, you know. You're not
ice cream.
Oh, your favorite. You know, you're not chewing it. You're also licking it, right? So for example, my dog always licks my hand when I go to pet it. And this is very true for my puppy, Jeffrey. If you're watching this, stop licking my hand. I don't know why you would be watching this, but you should be sleeping.
He should be sleeping. But I love puppy breath.
Oh, very interesting.
Okay, so continuing, if you answered the okapi, then congratulations, you're an animal expert. But if you had no idea, you might want to read on and find out more about this fascinating species.
If that was your first answer, you really are,
an animal expert.
You should be a zoologist.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of an okapi before.
It's a very fascinating species. So fascinating? You take it. You take it.
I'll take it. If something is fascinating, it means that it makes you just feel like, wow, right?
Wow, interesting.
To be fascinated by something means you're very interested in it, and it makes you feel like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This world is amazing.
Exactly. So continuing on, although okapis share many features with other animals, they have an entirely unique appearance. Their stripy black and white legs resemble those of zebras, but the two species aren't actually related.
Oh, that's interesting that they're not related.
Isn't that crazy?
They're both very horsey looking, and then they got the butt stripes. So like stripy, well, you know what a stripe is. Like a stripe is just like a line.
Yeah. So
and it could be a curved line. And if you say something is stripy,
right.
Are you wearing anything stripy?
No, not today. But I do know you like a stripy sweater sometimes.
Ooh, I do like a stripy sweater.
Right, exactly. So it's full of stripes. So when something is stripy, it's covered in stripes.
Okay, so they're not related. Interesting. Okay, in reality, okapis' closest relatives are giraffes, a fact which is indicated by their long necks. Yeah.
Well, and also their face is kind of giraffe-y.
They definitely have giraffe faces, right? Like giraffes, okapis have horns called ossicones on the tops of their heads, though unlike giraffes, only male okapis have these.
Huh, interesting.
That's why they look so giraffe-y.
Yeah.
The little horns, the way the face is shaped.
Continuing on, they also have big ears with which they can hear low-frequency sounds that other animals can't. Actually, if you look at their ears, they kind of have a triangular shape. So I'm not very surprised that, you know, they can hear really low frequencies.
Yeah, so a frequency.
Yeah, what is that?
What is a frequency? So that's a noun. The rate at which a sound or an electromagnetic wave vibrates.
Right. I know that the older you get, you kind of aren't able to hear the higher frequency.
What? I'm already starting to experience that. Okay, so for example, we could say sounds with lower frequencies are deeper than those with higher frequencies.
Interesting. So they're very good at hearing.
Okay, yeah, they're good hearers. Okay, so this allows them to communicate with each other without alerting possible predators.
Now that's like they have built-in walkie-talkies in their head.
Kind of just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that they could communicate without predators here. So predators, like you have predator and you have prey.
Let's switch that around.
Okay, you have
I'm going to eat
You're
you.
the predator.
Yeah.
Predator and prey.
Yeah.
So a predator is something that hunts and kills prey, which gets eaten.
So obviously they can't be too loud, otherwise the predators will know where they are. So they communicate with these, you know, their awesome hearing. So communicate is a verb, and it means to share or exchange information with someone or, you know, in this case, another okapi. So they need to say, hey, there's a predator, watch out, you know, be on the lookout. But if they're too loud, then the predator is going to hear. So for example, young people mostly communicate with each other on apps.
True. We also have another vocabulary word, alert, because we need to alert the other okapis for these predators, right?
Yep.
So to alert means to warn somebody or something about a dangerous situation or one that requires immediate action. So for example, she tried to alert her dad to the dangers of smoking.
I am so intrigued by these okapis. I'm very excited to learn more about them.
They're adorable. Why don't we take a break and find out more after the break?
Hello， 大家好，我是 Yanni。这2天的课文要介绍欧卡皮鹿 Okapi 这种生物啊，它的腿像斑马，脖子像长颈鹿，舌头长到可以舔自己的眼睛。那如果同学们原本就知道这种动物，也知道它们的特征，那你应该是动物专家哦。Winnie 老师这时候有提到 zoologist 这个字 ，zoo 后面加上 logist， 那 zoologist 就是指动物学家。 课文提到说，欧卡皮鹿有黑白条纹相间的腿，很像斑马的腿，但这两种物种其实是没有亲缘关系的。事实上，欧卡皮鹿亲缘最近的动物是长颈鹿。那像长颈鹿一样，欧卡皮鹿的头顶上也有称为这种皮骨角的角，不过只有雄性的欧卡皮鹿才有这些角。此外呢，它们还有很大的耳朵，可以听到其他动物听不到的低频声音，这使得它们可以彼此沟通，而不会惊动可能的掠食者。文中是用 predator 来表达掠食者、掠食性动物。那么 Shane 老师有补充 prey P-R-E-Y prey 表示猎物、被捕食的动物。好，那么单字 lick 表示舔。Frequency 则是指频率，可能是声波或电波等等的频率。那么 Shane 老师在解释时，他还有提到 electromagnetic wave， 则是指电磁波。老师还有用到 vibrate 来表达震动，它是拼作 V-I-B-R-A-T-E vibrate。下一个单字 communicate， 它是动词，表示沟通、交流或是联系。那么 alert 当动词是指使警觉、使注意，它也可以当形容词来形容警觉的。那我们文中有一个补充单字是 stripy， 它是形容有条纹的、有斑纹的。它的名词是 stripe， 把 y 改成 e， 那 stripe 就是条纹的意思咯。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边我们来学习介系词加 which 的用法。形容词子句的句尾是介系词，而且关系代名词 which 是这个介系词的受词时，我们可以把介系词移到 which 前面，那这是比较正式的用法。举例来说 ，This is the shop which I bought my boots from。我们现在把这个介系词 from 移到 which 的前方，会变成 This is the shop from which I bought my boots。这就是我买靴子的那一家店。好，接回到课文中。
Okapis are shy, solitary creatures that live in the tropical rainforests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. In fact, much of the world's Okapi population lives within a single protected area of the DRC's Ituri forest. Their shiny red-brown fur is coated with oil, which helps keep them warm and dry in the rainy conditions of the forests.
Welcome back from the break. How about a recap?
Okay. Well, don't be fooled. You might think because they've got butts that look like zebras that they are related to zebras. But these okapis are not actually related to zebras. They're actually quite closely related to giraffes. And even the male okapis, like giraffes, have horns.
Yep.
They also got these really big, cool ears, and they can hear really low frequencies.
Yeah.
And they're just a fascinating animal all around.
Yeah, so continuing on, okapis are shy, solitary creatures that live in the tropical rainforests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So,
Or the DRC?
Or the DRC, right. Yeah, so as we can tell, like, they're very different from zebras, right? They're not even related to zebras. And what I find shocking is that they're solitary. And what does that mean? To be solitary means, you know, usually animals run around with their pack or their group or their family, but they're actually...
They're not like herd animals, right?
So when they're solitary, that means you like to stay to them, you know, you like to stay to yourself, stick to yourself, one-man team. Kind of thing.
If you're like solo, right?
Yeah.
Solo means one, right? So solitary just means like you stay by yourself.
Right, exactly.
Okay, in fact, much of the world's Okapi population lives within a single protected area of the DRC's Ituri forest.
Their shiny red-brown fur is coated with oil, which helps keep them warm and dry in the rainy conditions of the forests. So kind of like otters, you know, they have, that's why they're kind of, they have a sheen to them. They're shiny, right? So they naturally have this oil that makes them waterproof, essentially.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and I get some waterproof so they're nice to stay warm and dry.
Right. So what does it mean to be shiny?
Well, to be shiny, I mean, just look right here. Smooth and bright. Reflecting the light.
Oh, that rhymed.
It did rhyme.
Good
right?
job.
Yeah. So, yeah, shiny. Just really it's about light reflecting off of something, and because of that, becomes bright.
Right.
Okay, so for example, after the car was cleaned, it looked all shiny and new.
Right. So as we can see in photographs of Okapis, they do have this slight shine to them, which does indicate that, they have this waterproof coating, but not only does it keep the water off, it also traps the heat in.
Yeah,
which is useful when it gets too cold. So I would love to have my own waterproof coating so that I wouldn't have to, especially in Taiwan where it's raining all the time.
Yeah, but it's so warm in Taiwan. I don't think that you want like a bunch of fur on you.
Good point.
You know what I mean? So there's a time and a place for
a good oil coating.
For a good oil coating, right.
Well, I'm excited to learn more about these Okapis, but we're going to have to wait till next time.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there is part 2, so it gives us something to look forward to.
See you next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
欧卡皮鹿是害羞的独居生物，生活在刚果民主共和国的热带雨林中。那它们闪亮的红棕色皮毛上面还附有一层油，这帮助它们在森林的多雨环境当中来保持温暖和干燥。Winnie 老师在讲到他们这个防水层的时候，有用到 coating 这个字，就是 coat 大衣那个单字后面再加上 ing，coating 这个名词就表示涂层、覆盖层的意思。再来看单字 shiny， 它是形容闪亮的、有光泽的。那老师有用到 sheen 这个名词 sheen sheen， 它表示光彩、光泽。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边我们来学习 keep 加受词加受词补语，这个句型是表达使什么保持、维持某个状态。常见的受词补语是形容词、现在分词 VING、过去分词 PP 等等。那我们造2个例句。John keeps himself fit by swimming. John 借由游泳让自己维持身体强健。或是有一句是 I'll keep you posted， 意思是我会让你随时得知最新情况的，让你维持在一直都是知道的状态这样。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
What has legs like a zebra, a neck like a giraffe, and a tongue long enough to lick its own eyes? If you answered the Okapi, then congratulations, you're an animal expert. But if you had no idea, you might want to read on and find out more about this fascinating species. Although okapis share many features with other animals, they have an entirely unique appearance. Their stripy black and white legs resemble those of zebras, but the two species aren't actually related. In reality, okapis' closest relatives are giraffes, a fact which is indicated by their long necks. Like giraffe, okapis have horns called ossicones on the tops of their heads, though, unlike giraffes, only male okapis have these. They also have big ears, with which they can hear low-frequency sounds that other animals can't. This allows them to communicate with each other without alerting possible predators. Okapis are shy, solitary creatures that live in the tropical rainforests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. In fact, much of the world's Okapi population lives within a single protected area of the DRC's Ituri forest. Their shiny red-brown fur is coated with oil, which helps keep them warm and dry in the rainy conditions of the forests.
Hey, it's KiWi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. Ooh,
Winnie.
It is so cold. Today is just,
gloomy?
no. How do you say it? It's like,
Cloudy?
no. It's similar.
Gray?
Yes, today is so gray.
Oh, so you're feeling kind of cold because the sun isn't out.
Yes.
Well, actually, in English, there are lots of different ways to say or describe similar things, right?
Exactly, which is why today's game will be reorganizing some words.
All right, we have some vocabulary and we have 2 groups.
bright and dark. So can you please help me sort them into their categories?
Dull,
Dull.
dark, sparkling, bright, shiny, bright, gloomy, bright, dim, should be dark, glittering, dark.
Okay, this one.
Okay.
This one.
All right.
Any changes?
No.
So is the answer equal?
I don't know.
don't know.
I'm not going to tell you that. What do you think?
Sorry. Yeah.
One more look. Is this your final answer? Do you want to change anything?
No.
No?
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's check if you are right. And good thing you changed it last minute because gloomy does belong on the dark side and glittering belongs on the bright side. Okay, so what did we learn today?
Here are today's vocab sort out categories. Our first one is dark, and our second one is bright. So for the bright category, we have shiny, glittering, and sparkling. Our first one, shiny. For example, you could say, after I washed my car, it was so shiny and clean. Then we have glittering. So for example, you could say, the disco ball was glittering. And finally, we have sparkling. For example, you could say, the waves were sparkling in the sun. Moving on to our dark category, we have the words dim, gloomy, and dull. Our first word, dim. The light bulb broke, so the room was very dim. Then we have the word gloomy. For example, you could say, today was very cloudy and gloomy. And for our final word, we have dull. The color of her shirt was a dull gray. That's all for today. KiWi later.